Have you ever felt like you lived in two completely different worlds? Like you didn't just quite belong to one, but you also were shaped by both? Well, let me tell you, this is actually a lot more common than a lot of you might think. My name's Camille Hassan.
And I'm Sebastian McCurry.
And we're going to talk about our cultural backgrounds and what it was like growing up being biracial. I got to interview Sebastian and learn a lot of things about him that I wouldn't have known just on the surface. But let me just say this, to try to put him in one cultural group would be a disservice. But today we are going to talk a little bit about his heritage being biracial. Sebastian has both Peruvian and English heritage. His mom is from Peru and his dad is from England. He grew up in a small town of Carpinteria where there were many Spanish speakers, but a lot of people looked at him and did not think that he also did speak Spanish, but he does. Growing up in this small town impacted how he navigated through these cultural worlds as a child. Though both of these groups have very vast differences, Sebastian feels strongly connected to both of them. On his mom's side, language always played a strong role. Often speaking in Spanish with each other, they had to learn how to code switch, and he had to move from Spanish to English simultaneously. His mom also tended to be the more strict parent, which definitely created cultural differences in how he would communicate with his parents. His mom being more blunt, honest, while his dad seemed to be more warm and easygoing. He also was close with a lot of his cousins on his dad's side, so that always kept him connected to his culture. We talked about a few different traditions that his family would do, and a few that stuck out to me was that on Christmas Eve, they would basically do a big dinner, and they would hang out, and then once it hit midnight, they would celebrate Christmas Day and start opening all their presents. His dad's family also lives in Carpinteria, and so because they live a little bit closer, they have a few more regular traditions, such as they do this thing, it's called pinch and punch at the first of the month, and it's basically what it sounds like. You pinch and you punch each other the first of the month. And one that I also thought was really cool is that they have a yearly tradition on the 4th of July where they have a big family reunion. They like to go to the beach, they barbecue, and what I thought was really interesting is that all the people under the age of 30 have to go to the beach the night before and they have to get a spot and camp there overnight. And I've never done anything like that, so I just thought that was such a cool thing, and I think it's a really nice way to stay probably connected to his cousins. And I think that this is a tradition that could continue to be passed down for more generations. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my partner, Sebastian.
So I had the pleasure of interviewing Camille, and I found a lot of interesting things I did not know about before. So Camille feels that she has many cultural identities, and she's not strongly resonating with just one of them. It's both of them. She's biracial. Her mom is white, and her dad is black. She grew up in a predominantly white area where she often felt out of place. You know, she didn't quite fit in any group, particularly in school, social settings, because she was at a school that was predominantly white. Her family has traditions to keep up with her culture. One example is every Christmas Eve, her family's from Sicily, so they would go together and make homemade Sicilian pizzas. This was something that was passed down from her generations, sprung from her great-grandma from Sicily. She often used music and movies as a way to connect with her culture, those who are in a similar community, particularly sharing these with her dad. They regularly went to see movies and often tried to make, her dad would often try to make the movies educational about civil rights. However, growing up biracial did bring some challenges to Camille, as she shared with me that people would often make rude or derogatory comments, disguised as jokes. She would frequently be called whitewashed because of her interests and whether or not they fit a stereotype people expected from her. This reflected on a common stereotype faced by many multicultural people of never feeling enough on either side. She described it as feeling too white or too black for one side.
So before this project, I don't think I would have known nearly as much about Sebastian as I did. We also actually even had a chance to talk a lot outside of class, and it had nothing to do with this project, but we were able to get into a lot of deeper things. And I just learned that his story is just like a huge reminder that you really cannot know everything about a person just by looking at them.
I also had such a great time talking with Camille, getting to know her better. It showed me that you can't experience of not feeling like you fully belong is something that many people actually face, and not everybody knows that. And that really reflected with me and made me think more about my identity. And I'm glad that I met Camille.
Today we discussed a little bit about our cultural backgrounds and how keeping these traditions alive has helped us stay more connected to our communities.
We hope this shows you how much culture impacts who we are. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.